Okay, so final step, all edge pieces are in the final position, but they're not orientated. What we're going to do is do a orientation swap, name I just made up for it, in order to, rotate these pieces around so that they are correctly orientated in the right position. So this is a similar or algorithm as the second step, but it is absolutely essential that you run through the whole entire algorithm sequence in order to get it to be in the final solve step. So if you run 3 out of the 4 steps and then you move on to the swap, which will make sense in a second when I explain how it actually works, you'll screw it up, and then you've either got to backtrack, which is not easy to do, or you have to kind of go back to putting the bottom piece in the right spot, putting this layered and doing, second or first layer, second layer in this part, and then doing the top again. And that totally happens sometimes. It's once you get to be like somewhat proficient, because the learning curve on these is super quick. In my experience, your first solve, if you sit down with the video and stuff, will take like an hour or two, and then if you practice fairly consistently, it took me about a week to get everything in muscle memory and not have to use the sheet. You'll be down to 2 minutes by then, and a minute after then, and then I only do it every once in a while, but you'll get quick pretty quick. So what was I even saying before that tangent? Squirrel brain. Yeah, you have to run through the whole entire sequence, the algorithm sequence, to swap the piece, and then once the piece is in the correct orientation, you can only move your top layer. The bottom 2 layers have to remain static. You're going to work off of the same exact front face the whole entire time, and your top layer will move. So what this algorithm, very similar to the first algorithm you use to orientate the corners into the bottom face, just a little different, is you do right prime, bottom prime, right bottom. And see, so now we've taken that blue and we've stuck it down in this corner, and it looks like you're screwing everything up, but you just got to trust in the process. And so I've run through all 4 steps. So right prime, bottom prime, right, bottom. And see, now I ran through all 4 steps. It looks all screwed up in here, but I have my blue in the correct space. So that is the sequence for one of the corners. So now we take top layer, we rotate it to our next corner. Sometimes all of these corners are in, you do the last step and they're all orientated, and it's really satisfying, and you don't even have to do this step. Sometimes you've got to do 2 of them, sometimes you've got to do all 4. It varies from solve to solve. Yeah, so again, I was here. Now I rotate my top layer and top layer only. up keeping my front face static, and I do my algorithm again. I'm having to run it twice to get my right orientation, and then orientated right, top layer move, algorithm, so that was 2 runs. It's still not in the right spot or right orientation, but you can see I've run the whole entire algorithm enough times so that my bottom 2 layers are back to solve state. And so I just keep running that algorithm, and now I have 3 top corners, completely final position, final orientation. Move this, and then with guidance again, top layer move, front face static. I do right prime, bottom prime, right, bottom, right prime, bottom prime, right, bottom, right prime, bottom prime, right, bottom, right prime, bottom prime, right, bottom. And it's done. And you've solved a Rubik's Cube. And it's a really fun fidget. Because it's a lot of hand motion, and you do have to, be semi-consciously engaged with the whole entire process. And you'll notice patterns, but not all 2 solves are the same. You do have to be engaged. So, I don't know. Hope this was helpful. If you're like, screw this, I don't want to learn this, that's cool. But, I don't know. I'm probably going to make another video and just talk about, some things related to how it works. But that'll be short. There's only like one thing I can think of that I want to cover.